Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm ready to go.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let's have a plan. And if you have any fundraisers or other comments you like to make about your club. So could we start doing that, please? Jack, you want to say first?
Okay, I'm Jack Ickerman with the Droid Optimist Club. We sold Christmas trees and we sold them out faster than we ever have. We sold them out in 9 days. And that's all I have to report right now.
Thank you.
I'll go.
Tony, you want to talk about your club?
Tony must not have heard you.
I don't think so. Barbara, you want to talk about the Riverdale Club?
Sure. I'm Barbara Lane with the Riverdale Optimist Club and also Secretary of the President's Club. We have our big fundraiser coming up, cross our fingers, around the first Sunday of February with our Super Bowl party. Tickets or squares will be available. Anybody can participate. You don't have to be there to win. And but we will have it again, cross our fingers again at Harrigan's. It all depends on how many idiots are out there passing around COVID. So it will be masked and it will be proper distancing, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. If you're interested, get a hold of me or Larry and or Amy, any of the three of us, and we'd be happy to sign you up to the board. The squares are $100 each. You can get half a square, and that entitles you to one or two people attending the party. We have fun every year. I think we've been doing this since the early 90s. And right now we're down to this is the only one that we do. So hopefully it'll be a success and hopefully they won't cancel the Super Bowl. So thank you very much.
Debbie, would you like to tell us about your club?
I am Debbie Dawkins. I'm the president of the Centerville Noon Optimist Club. We just finished our 5 holidays with our largest fundraiser, the Avenue of Flags. And you're welcome, Dorwood, since we canceled our Christmas tree lot.
Thank you.
I think we can account for a lot of your sales. We sent them over to your place. But we are hoping to have our Tom Fraser golf outing this year. It's scheduled for September, and we are planning to do Christmas trees again next year. We're still getting donation requests every month. We take the month of December off, but we'll reconvene again in January, or our board will. And again, we'll still be handing out money. So the need doesn't go away just because the fundraisers do. But anyway, thank you for having me today. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Debbie. How about Kathy Ballman Parks?
Hello. Sorry I was a little late, having all kinds of computer problems today. I am the immediate past president of Altrusa of Dayton. And we've been a member of the President's Club for many years. However, just with different things going on, I think we've had difficulty attending. So we're trying to be a little more active, particularly in this time of COVID.
Thank you.
We have been able to, we've been having Zoom meetings with the club and still have been able to do some of our service projects, maybe only with 1 or 2 people, like helping out with the Christmas party at Dayton Christian Center and doing some things for the widow's home with Christmas cards and things like that. But it certainly is different. We had to cancel our largest fundraiser, which is a luncheon auction in October. So we did a solicitation drive with Friends of Altrusa, we called them, and we're, all things considered, we were thrilled with the amount of money we got to support our grant program and our scholarships and things like that. One of the things that we are very excited about is we have, I don't know if you heard on the news yesterday or familiar with the organization of With God's Grace. They have been a mobile food pantry They have a freestanding free pantry now on North Dixie Drive. And the founder of that, Nicole, is the aunt of one of our members. So she brought this up to the group, and we were able to set up what we have now dubbed the Altrusa Book Nook. Altrusa, one of the biggest things is we focus on literacy with different events. And we have set up a free book shelf, books from toddlers, children, teens, adults. Anybody that comes in is able to take a free book, and we will keep restocking that, you know, as needed. So we're very excited that we've been able to partner with them. So that's kind of what we've been doing through this time of COVID. And I know has stressed all service clubs along with the entire community, country, and world with what we're dealing with. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Amy, can you tell us about the Lions Club?
I can. Yes, I'm with the Miamisburg Lions and the Riverdale Optimist Club. Miamisburg, we've been doing a couple of little fundraisers with some of the restaurants. We've got a candle sale going on right now, $8 for some candles. So if you're interested in that, let me know. We've done recently, we did our Adopt a Family. So we're taking gifts over to several families in the Miamisburg area. But other than that, we've been pretty much same as everybody. We've had to cancel most of our meetings, or we've been meeting by Zoom, which has been interesting, as everybody else has said as well. But I mean, that's where we are right now. Hopefully we'll be able to do things in January. I am getting ready to place my order for chocolate bunnies. So if everybody is interested in that, just let me know. But we will be selling the bunnies again this year or next year for, Easter 2021. So that's about all. And I would, though, Larry, like to add, just for all of the people that are on, if you can update that form, and maybe Larry, you can remind them at the end, if you can update your officers form so we have your addresses and phone numbers and everything of your club officers, that would be great. Thanks.
Thank you, Amy. How about Joe Wade?
I'm a member of the Exchange Club of Dayton, also the Oakwood Rotary Club. The Exchange Club, we're kind of low key right now. We gave a nice contribution through Kadisha for the Circle of Vision Keepers. And we've got an endowment fund that we're building up and hope to get some things started next year. I've been working on a long-term project of developing a slideshow to teach people basic to intermediate finances. And I think that this might be on a national basis through virtual. We've got several hundred PowerPoint slides on it. So that's really good. You'll be hearing more about this later. I'm looking for an organization, one or more organizations that will take this over under my direction. And so we're going from there. The Rotary Club, our biggest fundraiser is that day in May, and we always make a substantial profit on that, but we had to cancel it this year. And so we're just doing meetings, virtual meetings, and we get about 70 people a week on virtual meetings.
Wow.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Is
welcome.
John Keller on? John Keller? My screen shows John K. So I wondered if that's.
That is. While we're waiting for him to get his mute off, let me introduce myself.
Okay.
I'm Tony Massoud. I'm currently the secretary for the Civitan Club of Dayton. And this December, we've given out a number of our programs that we support that would be building bridges, the Victory Project, the United Rehabilitation Services, and Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, PAL, they take care of youth, keep them off the streets. And I'm also the secretary for the Dayton Arab American Forum, and we raised over $4,000 and donated it to the food bank. And I'm also currently the vice president of the President's Club and past president.
Okay, Tony, thank you very much.
Okay, Larry, I'll go last. This is Khadijah.
Okay,
Okay, I'm a member of the Exchange Club and also of the President's Club, immediate past president. What Joe had mentioned, the Exchange Club did support our Time to Be Thankful and Grateful event that we have every year. Normally is at the Feast of Giving at the Dayton Convention Center, but due to COVID, that was closed down. So this year we held it at Capitol Dry Cleaners. We did not have a big showing because of COVID, but we were able to reach out to different social service agencies, and we're able to give out 950 something headscarves and gloves to children this year. And I'm just really grateful to the Exchange Club because they're very supportive of helping people in the community. And that's our mission. You know, that's our goal. And I just want to thank everybody for being here, the different clubs. It's just awesome. Thank you.
thank you, Khadijah. Is John Kemper here now? No, I guess not.
Larry,
Yes, I'm right here.
could I make an extra comment? We
Joe?
have a group here in Dayton that I started better than 25 years ago. We had a group of the American Association of Individual Investors. And we used to have monthly meetings and national speakers, but we decided we didn't need the national speakers and we wanted meetings more than once a month. So we started every week and we're doing that. And we have a really interesting group of people. We do it virtually. Normally about 9-10 people at a meeting. If there's anybody that's interested in learning more about investments, I would say kind of an intermediate to advanced level. We would love to have you. There's no cost involved. We meet every Friday, 8 o'clock to 9:30. And if you're interested, just give me a call and we'll connect you up on the virtual meetings.
Okay, thank you,
That's it.
Joe. I would like to read, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to read to you the mission statement of the President's Club of Dayton. It is to encourage the spirit of servant leadership through active volunteer community service in our region. The organization celebrates this ideal by the celebration and community volunteerism and sponsoring student scholarships at Sinclair College for the future community leaders. And that's what we do. Any other comments before I introduce our speaker?
Yes, one thing, if you are a member of the President's Club, you have access to use our Zoom free. If your club has any functions or anything that you are doing as far as fundraising, send me the information and I will make sure it's in our newsletter, and that gets posted and sent to everybody, as well as on our Facebook page and our web page. Thank you.
Thank you. I see something new came on my screen. It says Cole Smith 445. Is somebody by that name on here? No, I guess not. All right.
There
I'd like
is.
Please.
There is a Cole Smith on there.
There is.
Is that maybe Colonel Smith?
Colonel Smith. I don't think he can hear me.
All right, go ahead and introduce Jan.
Okay, Jan Lepore-Jentleson is a founding director of the East End Community Service, now a 23-year-old nonprofit organization located in the inner East Dayton that serves children, families, and adults all over Montgomery County, with a special focus on the Twin Towers neighborhood. Before East End Community Services, Jan was Director of Housing and Neighborhood Development for the City of Dayton for 13 years, where she learned about the poverty suffered by families in Dayton. Jan was employed by NCR in the late 70s and 80s and worked as a product manager in the personal computer division and led a countywide planning process during the county's celebration of the US Bicentennial. Ms. Lepore-Jentleson is happily married for 45 years to Don. They have 3 grown children and a beautiful 8-year-old granddaughter. Jan, welcome.
Thank you very much. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be here today with all of you leaders in our community. You know, I don't think the voluntary sector, as embodied by the service clubs in this community, get enough respect and recognition. I mean, you've enriched. I mean, I've known several of you anyway for a long time, and I know how much you've enriched the community. So just on behalf of the community, I want to thank you. I have prepared some material that I'd like to share with you. So I'm going to hope this all works. Okay, so I've got the host disabled the screen sharing. So Amy, if that's you.
Yeah, I just sent Tony, or I just put something on the chat. It is not letting me record or do anything. Tony, I don't have host permission here. You're muted, Tony.
Tony's voice is gone.
Tony, you're mute.
We're being recorded as we're speaking.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So
I
let me see
can't
if I
share
could-
the screen though.
Let me see if I could do that. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's telling me the host disabled it.
Who knew we'd be learning all this technology?
Yes, yes.
Hold on.
I
I'm going
have
to
the
turn this over to
technology on
Jan.
my
Hold on.
sleigh.
Oh, Tony, hold on.
Well, I tell you what, why don't I get started? And then if we can figure out how to share the screen, that's fine. I do have a couple of slides I'd really like to show you, but
Hold on.
okay. Tony's the wizard. Tony's on my board too. He didn't mention that. And he's the
Yeah.
one who invited and arranged for me to do this today. So thank you again, Tony.
That is awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a great program. You know, I don't know why. This is the second time I'm having problems.
Huh.
Let me see.
Well,
Go ahead, Jan. I'll keep
all right.
working on it.
Oop. Okay. Okay. Let me exit my full screen. Okay. So I am Jan Lepore-Jentleson. I'm the Executive Director of East End Community Services. And we are also known as, actually our official name is West Care Ohio. We merged with the West Care Foundation, which is a national organization, a few years ago. So we are West Care, Ohio, doing business as East End Community Services. Our doors opened back in 1998 when we were part of St. Mary Development Corporation, and we have been located at 624 Xenia Avenue in Inner East Dayton, which is formerly the Xenia Avenue Feed and Pet Store. If any of you vaguely remember that, it's been a long time now. We serve, this year, it's really been hard to say, but I'm guessing 6,500 to 7,000 individual people every year now. About 800 we're averaging a week. Our budget's about $2 million and we've got about 50 people. And half of those are part-time people. So our mission is to build a prosperous, caring, and healthy community that nurtures disadvantaged children and families towards success. We're trying to break the cycle of generational poverty and addiction with our 2-generation interventions. So research and frankly, common sense tell us that kids do better when they live in stable, nurturing families and when they attend good schools, and families do best when they live in healthy, caring, and supportive neighborhoods with opportunities to live in affordable, decent housing, have reliable transportation, and access to living wage jobs, good health care, child care, and other amenities. So families do better when they live in healthy communities, right? So our goals are focus on 3 populations: children, families, and neighborhoods. Okay, we believe that you can't just look only at the child or only at the parents or only at the neighborhood, that we've got to tie those groups together and look at everything that supports the development, the positive, healthy development of both the neighborhood, all the families, and their kids. So, darn. So I have a slide here that you can't see that shows where we're located. So if you can imagine East Dayton and start at the downtown and head east along Route 35. Okay, Route 35 wasn't always there. And before it punched through the heart of East End Dayton, there were, it was all kind of, the neighborhood was all kind of one whole area. And it was the oldest part, of course, of Dayton. So if you think about the area below Route 35, the neighborhoods are South Park, Twin Towers, Linden Heights, and Walnut Hills. Okay, so, and our neighborhood, the Twin Towers neighborhood where we're located, sits kind of right in the heart of that area. Then if you go north of Route 35, there's the St. Anne's Hill neighborhood, Huffman Historic, Newcomb Plain, Burkhart, and Springfield neighborhoods going all the way. So if Route 35 divided the neighborhood, the northern part of our community stretches all the way to the Mad River. And we go out, not quite to the city boundaries.
Jan,
So, yeah.
see if you can, you have now management control of the Zoom.
Oh, super. Okay, let's see, go to full screen, share screen. There we go. Oh, nuts. Well, I'm not quite sure what it's doing, but not what was on my screen. Dagnabbit. All right, let's look at the map. Okay, so are you seeing multiple screens here? Let's see.
No,
No,
Are you seeing anything?
no.
No.
Oh. Okay, then we're
I
gonna
see Joe
stop
Wade for the first time.
Yeah,
Here we
right.
go.
Oh.
We're sharing it now.
sharing it now.
We hope.
Geez, I'm so sorry.
I
Thank
just
you
see
for-
myself, Barbara, and Joe Wade.
Okay. This is weird. I can't get even
Hey,
back.
Jan, sometimes I have to double click on the screen or on the website, whatever I want to share. I have to like open up the document and sometimes double click on it. I think Jan froze. She may have gotten kicked out.
Okay, I got everybody's picture back again. Except Amy.
We should have a special meeting to learn how to use Zoom.
I think we lost Jan also.
We did. She's gone.
Well, while we're
She'll have
waiting to
log
reconnect
back
with
in.
her, I'd like to remind everybody, this past year, we were unable to have the appreciation breakfast. We are planning to do that in May. It'll be
Barbara, I
the,
can't hear you.
I don't know why. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello, yes, last year were unable to do the appreciation breakfast in May. We are planning to do that this year. I've contacted Belinda and she'll be putting things in motion. Also, unfortunately, we weren't able to do the Citizens Legion of Honor, and we will be doing that again this year. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers that that things will improve. The Military Affairs Group will also have their golf outing. I think it's the first or second Thursday in May. So we've got some things that are coming up, and I will cede the floor to Jan Lepore-Jentleson.
Wow, this has turned into a real disaster. Sorry. Okay, so let me just tell you, in the neighborhoods I just described, there's a population of about 26,500 people. And of those people who live there, 41% live below the poverty line. Okay, that's almost one in every two people, families, I should say families, households,
Not national average.
live below the poverty line. Well, the poverty line for the city of Dayton is about 34.5%, and poverty for the country, I think, is sitting around 17%. So Dayton has twice the poverty rate, and we're over the state poverty rate. And in our neighborhood in inner East Dayton, we're significantly higher than that. So the question that has come up over and over again for East End is, how do people get so poor, and how do people get out of poverty, lift themselves out of poverty? Because nobody can really do that for them. And that's really what East End is all about, to try to break that cycle of poverty, which leads to all kinds of bad things. And recognizing that it's a process to get into poverty, no matter what generation we're talking about. And it's a process to get out of poverty. It's not anybody's fault, it's conditions. So let's begin. If I had you, if you could see this, it's a great big oval shape, and I'm starting at the top of the oval, and I've got a box here that says the child is born, okay? And when the child is born into a very low income family, quite often, not all the time, so I'm not generalizing to the entire population of poor folk, but the family is so distracted with keeping body and soul together that they, and nor do they know about early child development, that important 0 to 3 period of time when a child's brain is developing the fastest. The family often does not provide cognitive, social, or emotional stimulation and support that the child needs in those very early years. The child then grows to be about age 5, and in East Dayton, our families really struggle with the notion of putting their children in early child education. There's an Appalachian notion that kids should remain home with their mothers until it's time to go to kindergarten. And it's been kind of hard to break through that. So by the time a child is ready for kindergarten, she could be up to 2 years behind in cognitive, social, or emotional development. So, you know, she may not have had that stimulation and support that she needs. So what happens? The Dayton, in our case, the Dayton schools have to get that child out of the depths and where she might be functioning at a 3-year-old level. Somehow that poor kindergarten teacher's got to get that child up to a 5-year-old level, cognitively, socially, and emotionally. That's hard to do when you've got 30 kids packed into a kindergarten. Imagine now trying to do online kindergarten. Our kids are getting even farther behind. But in any case, that's the situation that our public schools are faced with. I think they do their best, but it's really difficult. So what happens if the school system is not able to dig that child out of the hole and get her up to grade level where she should be in the amount of time that they have with her? She's probably going to fall farther behind. She's not going to grow as quickly as other children, perhaps in a suburban community, might grow. So the academic, social, and emotional gaps widen between that kindergarten and 8th grade period. So then she's probably going to go on to high school, though, because our kids are doing better about going to high school. That percentage has increased. I should mention that about 60% of our kids, 60 to 70% who come into kindergarten are not ready for kindergarten. And the academic gaps in elementary school are just unbelievable when compared to the national averages. So anyway, they're behind, but they move into high school. They may graduate by the skin of their teeth, but the skills gap is pretty significant, and there are no plans for future education or training. So imagine now that I'm kind of at the bottom of that oval, and the child is, so all of that early development, 0 to 18, happens kind of on the right side of my oval. And now it's time to go out into the world. Unfortunately, so many of our kids graduate with no idea what they want to do for the future. And what can't happen is that they get into a living wage job. I just pulled some data the other day. In living wage now, if you've got a family, a wife or a husband and a child, living wage is about 19 bucks an hour. So nobody's earning that kind of money without any education or advanced training. So there's a layer of financial instability that's going on already. And so you can only afford to live in a rental housing. Of course, home ownership is out of the question. And the rental housing is going to be the cheapest you can find, which is usually in a high poverty, distressed neighborhood with lots of other bad things going on: crime, drugs, violence, everybody's poor. And what that environment creates then is a lot of stress for folks. And that stress then exacerbates mental illness if it's already there, depression, drug abuse, domestic violence, again, not limited to high poverty families, but it's certainly more prevalent, unfortunately. And we've got really poor child outcomes when they live in a family that's struggling with all this stress and bad things happening in the community. So what we end up with are these very fragile families, but guess what? They're having kids. And we're back up to the top of my oval, and that cycle just continues. So if we're going to break through that cycle, we've got to look at education. We've got to look at financial stability, getting people into higher wage jobs because they have education and or advanced training. We've got to look at the neighborhoods that families are living in and the quality of their housing and help them out. And then we have to make sure that when they are stressed out, when there is mental illness, depression, drug abuse, that they have full access to health and health care. So that's kind of the environment that East End operates in. Okay, I've been talking for a while. Are you all still with me?
Right on.
Yes, we're
Yes.
here.
Okay, good. So our programs are all organized under those, the health and in neighborhood and financial safety and education and the social context of growing up. Those are all called social determinants of health. Okay. And I'm not saying physical health or just mental health. They're overall health of people in a community, living the kind of life that you and I are probably living right now. All of the services that we provide are person-centered. They focus on advancing conditions for the whole family and the environment in which the family lives. They're integrated with one another. They're multi-generational when it's appropriate, and they emphasize equity and personal empowerment. So back to this notion that children do best when they live in stable, nurturing families, and families do best when they live in safe, caring, and healthy neighborhoods. And it's really not any more complicated than that. So, and East End believes that you got to deal with kids, families, and neighborhoods simultaneously. So, the programs that we provide, hang on one second here.
Jan, you have about 10 minutes to go.
Okay, I'm at the very end. Again, I had this neat chart to show you, but here's what we do. So let's take the area of education. We are in Ruskin School. which is a Dayton public school. And in normal times, we'll have more than 200 children in our after-school program every day. It's called the Miracle Makers program, and it focuses on academic, social, and emotional development and closing those gaps for kids. We go year round, and we have proven time and time again that participating in our after school and summer programs actually helps lift kids and closes that gap. We have a middle school program that does the very same thing. We're at Wright Brothers Middle School. We call that the Pilots program. And we have a youth development center for young people ages 12 to 18. I'm going to get away from these slides here. Do not tell me I'm going to go out of this. There we go. Oop. Okay.
Jen, you could hold the graph to the screen so we can see it.
I can do what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there
Good.
you go.
There you go. Okay, can you see that? So I'll go through the details. In fact, let me go back up a minute and show you my handy dandy little cycle of poverty chart. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but
Yes, okay.
oh,
We
okay.
can see it, but we can't read it.
Okay, well, I talked it through, so I won't go bother with that. We work in that whole area of education. We also do addiction programs for children. You know, Dayton was the epicenter of the opioid epidemic since about 2013. So we had children walking home to their houses, finding their parents dead in the bathtub with needles in their arm.
Yeah.
That is an absolute true story and happened many times, unfortunately. So we began to understand how children are being so affected by the drug epidemic that their families were involved with. And so we have this wonderful thing called Camp Mariposa, which is all about trying to work with kids and help them understand that they don't have to become drug addicts and that they are resilient, and we teach them skills so that they don't get down on themselves. They realize they didn't cause their parents to become drug addicts. And it's been very effective. And we do wraparound social services for all the families at Ruskin School and at Wright Brothers. So we're very active in education and family support in the schools. We do a lot of stress management with our families at Ruskin. We do a lot of outreach with drug addicted families. When somebody overdoses, we go out with the police and we make contact with the person who survived the overdose and with their families and try to work with them to get them into treatment. And then we have a whole nother program that works with folks so that after they finish treatment, we don't do the treatment. We have partners who do that. When they are finished with treatment, that we help them get back into the community, get them a job, get them housing, whatever it takes. We do a lot of job connecting for those people as well as anybody in the neighborhood. And I'm going quickly through this. The big new program we're doing right now because of COVID is meal distribution. So we help stand up it's called Miami Valley Meals, and working with the Community Action Partnership. They're another wonderful organization in Dayton. We were able to fund a community kitchen that right now is located at Daybreak. And we have chefs that are being paid to use food that is given to us from the food bank. So any help you can provide to the food bank, some of it comes to us. But what they do is they prepare meals in casserole type portions, I mean big, that are made with food that, so that it won't be wasted at the food bank. Some of it is, you know, fresh stuff that they can't give away. So the chefs do their magic, and they've been producing about 4,500 meals a week. And then we have a whole network of people in partnership with others in Dayton that we're out in the neighborhoods delivering meals to people we know are really struggling. And we're about to get some more money, and we may be able to double our production capacity so that nobody goes unfed, at least through the COVID pandemic. We're expecting we're going to have to stay in business for the next 6 months because folks are really struggling, and getting back into the job market is going to be tough. People have already lost skills. There are a lot of small businesses that aren't coming back. So it's going to be a real challenge, I think, to get people back up on their feet. I mean, when you recognize how poor the community already is, they were poor before COVID, they're really poor now, and they're going to stay poor unless we can really mobilize resources and help them get back on their feet. So we do lots of other things, but I'm not going to bore you with all the details or go over my time. So that's who we are. Been here 23 years. I expect we'll be here 23 years more. I don't expect to be with the organization in 23 years, but I think we're a vital lifeline. By the way, we partner with God's Grace. They're great. They do a food pantry for the neighborhood once a month for us. We love the Victory Project. URS is our good friend. I'm a member of the East Dayton Optimists, so we're pretty connected all over the place. We've got partners all over town, and contrary to what people may think, all of the community-based organizations are helping each other right now. Nobody's going it alone. The need is so overwhelming for the community. And we hope, by the way, to the lady who's from Miamisburg, we know that there's a lot of struggling families down in Miamisburg, West Carrollton area, and we're hoping to be able to mount a food distribution effort for the folks down there who we know live in a food desert or where the hunger problem is really high. And we know that a lot of folks don't have transportation. That's why we're doing delivery. So
If we can help you in any way,
Excuse me.
please
Well,
give me a call.
Jan,
I would
Excuse me.
really like to know your phone number and give you a call. Yeah.
Sure. Let me go ahead and give it to you. My name's Amy Gephardt.
Okay, Amy.
And I've actually worked with your group with Jessica. I work with Allwell, which is a Medicare Advantage plan. So I've been to your facility.
Terrific. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we do a lot of work with seniors now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my phone number is 937-212-4448.
Got it.
Yeah, just give me a call, and if we can help coordinate that at all, because one of our Lions with West Carrollton was running the food bank at the church there, and I don't know that anybody has stepped in since she had a stroke.
Okay. Well, we've got to figure out how to get in there because this food needs to go to everybody in the county. So in Miamisburg. Okay, Amy, I'll give you a call.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Jan,
Yeah.
this is Kathy. Are you and the zip code in the areas you serve, are they involved with the Dayton Children's Community Outreach and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library?
Yes. You know, and I'm on their advisory board, and I was just on a call with them at 10 o'clock. There are 100 and did she say 109,000 kids doing their education? initiative. And yeah, and we do Dolly Parton. By the way, we also have a little kiosk out in front of our building for books, you know, one of those little mini libraries. So we can always use books and people in the neighborhood take them. But yeah, we're doing, yeah. We're a little nuts most of the time, actually, because we've got so many things going on. But I feel very privileged to do this work. So
Well, Jan?
yeah.
Jan, thank you very much.
Thank you for the
It's been a lot-
opportunity.
Very interesting
Okay,
learning about you and what you do.
thank you. And Tony's flashing our website and where you can get to us. Thank you
Okay,
very
okay.
much. And happy holidays to everybody. Be safe.
Jan, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for everybody.
Thank
Since
you,
we've
Jan.
had about a dozen people on here.
Great.
That's great.
Okay, so I'll be leaving you now.
I will say that if anybody's interested in the program from Jan, contact her. Let me know. I'll put her information on our next newsletter. It was on the previous newsletter with her contact information. And I'll try to put a link of the program video on the next newsletter. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you. And Tony, I'll send you the slides. too,
Okay, great.
if
And
you
I'll
want to
share
add
them.
those. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
We'd like to wish you all a happy
Larry,
New
before
Year.
you hang up, you might want to ask about Khadijah's request about meetings and Zoom meetings for the future.
Yeah, we'll have Zoom meetings next couple of months anyway.
Okay,
I don't know exactly how long, but our next meeting will be January 20th, 2021. And that will be a Zoom meeting. And depending how
I
this
know,
vaccine,
Khadijah, hey,
how many
Larry,
more we're gonna have.
Larry, I don't know if you saw the text from Khadijah. What she said was maybe taking it to once every other month. But I think we need to continue monthly. That's just my opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels.
I think so too.
Yep, me too, monthly.
especially if we're going to have the events coming up in
The
Right.
breakfast,
yes.